part 4. And I was talking. Then she didn't like something, so of course I had to stop. Alright, so now, this is the part where we start dating. Alright, I wasn't working.
We met in dating site, in a group.
Yeah, it was a group on Facebook.
Group
I had a
on
group on Facebook, and she joined. And
And I have my own too.
She did have a group. It was a small group. My group was bigger than her group. It was bigger than your group. Your group had like 10 people.
No, it's not like that.
It was like 10 people.
No.
And it was 200. And I had 5,000, all right? But she didn't like my group. But we talked.
Because his group is very boring.
My group was not boring. My group was not a 90 group. And there was guys sending nasty pictures to women. And I stopped them from doing that.
That's part of the group, man.
We still, as you say, we argue also. All right, so we was arguing just like now about that group. 3 years later, we still argue about this group when we talk about it. But anyway, but besides that, we liked each other. She was there for me. She talked to me, and I told her at the time I wasn't working. I lost all the contracts and things I was working with, and I wasn't working, and I was struggling because the landlord was getting on me about rent. And I gave her down deposit, so I said, "We'll use the deposit." And she was like, "Why don't you move? Because where you at now?" I was still in the townhouse, and I was by myself. And she was like, "It wasn't practical, and you're spending a lot of money there, and you can just get in a smaller place." So between her and my, partner CB, they told me, I had to be practical. And when two people tell you something, as I said earlier, you have to take consideration. And I had to humble myself. I had to swallow my pride that, my high living that I was doing when I moved here, that's over now. Now it's survival. So I sold everything, I think I said before. And the money I got, I took that money, then I moved to a smaller place. And that was more reasonable for me because that, I wasn't making a lot of money working online. I was getting enough to get by. And, at that time, I had to pivot. I had to redo everything. I had to do everything over. I still was wanting to stay here. I knew that things was going to work out. I still wanted to do my own business. But a lot of things I did and a lot of mistakes that I've made, because I have to admit it was mistakes on my part. One, not knowing, and two, just not caring. Like just spending money, trying to help everybody, trying to do all these things. And when the money runs out, people run away. But she met me when I didn't have anything. So when people say Filipino women always want money, that's not the truth. Filipino women just want the respect. Of course, she didn't have any kids, and she was single. So, which is a different, and that's what I wanted, to be honest with you. I was looking for a woman that didn't have any kids. I didn't want anybody else married, that separated. I didn't want any kids. I didn't want no single mother. None of that, because there's a lot of drama.
I have family.
Yeah, she had family, her mom and her dad and her sisters, but it wasn't like any little ones running around, nothing like that. She was working in Cavite, and we met in McLaren. I would go to McLaren. We'll meet in McLaren at the church, the big Catholic church in McLaren. We will meet there.
Because we're going to pray.
Yeah, we needed prayer actually. And not only that, we'd go eat, and that's how we met, because she only had she didn't even have a day off.
No, I don't have.
Her boss, I don't care, her boss, I ain't like her boss, her old boss. She never gave her no time to have a life. Everything was about.
But it's okay, that's life.
She was working. So we met, and I fell in love with her.
No, I worked there 10 years or 11 years, I think.
You worked 11 years for
Yeah.
her? So she worked for the lady for 11 years.
That's good because
How
they
you work for 11 years and you're only 20?
No, I've been here so long na already. 2011.
So you was working when you was a kid.
No, 2000, no, not 2011. 2010. 2010.
So so it is about 10 years, because you So you was like 6, 17, 18 when you
Mm-hmm.
were. All right. So she was young when she worked there, and she worked there for 10 years.
Yeah, the little one is still a month old. What is it that? If cut that one.
Month old?
Because
No, I'm not gonna cut it. She said the little one was a month old, and that's
yeah, month
fine.
old.
Month old, that's fine. So, so we started dating in 2019, I think. Yeah, 2019, because it's 3 years already. It's 2022.
Oh.
So we started dating in 2019, and she was supposed to come with me, but she didn't. And for like, I was staying there.
We don't have day off there. We don't have day
Yeah,
off.
so we had to see each other. I was going there once a month to see her, or
We
every.
see each other after my class only. After my class,
Yeah, she
Saturday,
was taking.
because we have class only half day.
So I would
So
go to
after
see
my
her.
class,
Yeah, I would
we
go
meet.
see her. Yeah, we
Then we
meet.
go home.
Yeah, then we'll go separate. And I got tired of that because I wanted to be with her every day, but
That's
she
it.
was working. So and I was working here. So we will see each other once every 2 weeks. But I was loyal to her because she was there for me, and she helped
Then I
me.
did not tell to my boss that I meet someone because you will get angry.
Yeah,
That's
so I ain't like the
why.
boss. All right, but anyway,
They taking care of me because what will happen to me, they will you know what, will happen,
what do
what
you
will
mean?
happen to me, my
When
family, ask them what will happen to me, why did they let me like that, the boss.
well,
That's why they concerned about me.
I understand they ain't pay her well either. So we'll go about that.
Yeah.
They ain't pay her well, but anyway, we was there for each other, and so 2019 was me rebuilding my life and getting back to work regularly, working jobs, paying dues, doing what I had to do.
Save.
Not really save, but I wasn't really making any money to save, but I was getting by. And
Yes.
and I humbled myself and I started over. And then 2020 we met early, and then they had a pandemic and they locked the country down, so we couldn't see each other. But what happened before that was that she got pregnant in March. Before we met in March, and then they locked the country down like the end of March, so we couldn't see each other. Then we found out in June that she was pregnant, but I knew she was pregnant when she told me. I knew she was pregnant, but we finally got the sonogram in June, and then we decided that we're going to be together. She's going to move here, and that's what happened. But before she moved here, she waited, and they locked the country down again. And I got mad because I'm like, you're pregnant and you could be here and you don't listen to me. And they locked and then the next month they opened it back, and we rushed her here before they locked the company, the country down again. I don't know if they did after that or not.
No, they
But
did not.
but when she got here, it was like the end of 2020, and then we stayed in the apartment. We got the studio, and then we ended up moving here. And then we had Anton a couple months later. So that is pretty much where we at. The 2021, we had a christening with Anton, and my partner CB came. I haven't seen him almost 2 years. He came up because he's Anton's godfather, and then me and him started talking again. And he was like, I'm pivoting from the situation. I'm getting more into NFTs. Would you, what would you like to do? Then me and him started talking, and we came up with Griff. So 2021 was when we launched Griff, and we bootstrapped it. I got some funding from some angel investors, and I've been working with Griff. I still work on my PC for companies, and I still get paid. And that's how I take care of my family. So I work full time doing that, and then I take care of my family, and then I do Griff on my free time. And now we're doing her blog also. So I went from having everything to having nothing, to meeting her when I had nothing, and then building everything up with her. So I can say that from the bottom of my heart, her family, they love me. Like, her sisters live with us. She's Anton's like favorite person besides mommy. He loves his auntie Nene. Her family, Papa, her dad. I met her mom. Rest in peace to her mom because her mother died. But her father loves me. He calls me son. He don't speak English,
Yeah.
but he loves me. Like he asks for me when he calls here to speak to me, and we take we help Papa out because he's older, and that's one thing. She's the breadwinner of her family too, and
I'm
she
the
sent
youngest.
and she's the youngest. And I used to get mad because when you come from a foreign country like us Americans, my mother worked, right? And my mother was a nurse. She was like she was she started as the lowest. She wasn't even a nurse. She was like a nurse's aide. And my mother's handicapped. My mother had one arm. Her arm is like this. So my mother has one working arm and she's handicapped. And my mother worked all of her life as a nurse. She became a nurse's aide, became an LPN, became an RN, went to school, studied, did all that, worked, picking people up with one hand, okay? Because she's like this, and she will grab it, and my mother is a strong woman.
Yeah.
And my mother is a very beautiful person. And if you work with somebody like that, or if you look up to somebody like that, you have to work yourself. My mother was not one to sit and play games. You get your butt and you work, you go to school, and you do something with your life. I've been working since I was 16, because that's the legal age in the United States. I always had a job. I always worked. So I got that from my mother. So when I was with my ex, I could say that I didn't know the culture, right? I didn't understand that the family will send the youngest or send somebody overseas to work, and then they send their money and everybody else is sitting on their butt. I don't like that.
It's different here, culture in the
Philippines. The culture is different, so I didn't understand the culture, okay? But I still don't like that you had to be the only one working for everybody and everybody else is sitting on, well, not her family so much, but my ex's family. They will sit down, not do shit. And these are people older than me, but they're not old as my mom. And my mom worked, and I'm like, you can get off your ass and work. All right. So there was just a cultural difference that I didn't know. I had to humble myself, and the communication was like me and her talk. Me and my ex, we couldn't talk. Like, her English was bad than hers. She said things I didn't understand. I say things she didn't understand, and she tells you I have a lot of slang in my language. So I'm not talking 100% white proper English anyway. So there was just a communication problem with me and my ex. But I look at that as, I'm not mad at her, because at the end of the day, God used her to bring me to the Philippines. If I wouldn't have met her, I would have never came to the Philippines. And if I didn't go through that struggle, I wouldn't have met her. So everything worked out for me because of God's grace and His mercy. And because God sent me here to do something in the Philippines, and He's blessing me, and He's giving me a family, He's giving me somebody that loves me. I went through everything. I had to lose, I had to gain, and I had to build it up on my own. It was just me. Okay? And I did it because of God's grace and mercy. But do not get it twisted. It's not easy living here. You need money. If you do not have money, you have to find a way to make money. I found my way. And that takes care of me and my family. And I found that way because I met somebody that told me how to do it. But I work 10-hour days. I do what I gotta do. Then I do grift. And speaking of grift, I'm going to be on the final pitch is tonight. My episode is tonight. So this is the 14th of August at 8:30 CNN Philippines. You're going to see me on the final pitch, pitching my business. But it took me a long time just to get grift off the ground to where we at now is over a year already. Me and her been together 3 years. My son is about to be 2. Me and her had nothing. She's not rich. I'm not rich. But everything we got, we work because we work together. And we take care of our family.
It's not about rich. It's about how love each other. Taking care of each other.
Yes, and you can be rich without being financially rich. It's not about just money.
Yeah.
Rich is about having your own life, having your own needs, having somebody that love you, having somebody that care about you.
Yeah.
So that's, to me, I'm rich because I have my son, I have my wife, I have my family. God put us together because I ain't have any kids. She didn't have any kids. We met and we had a kid like
A year.
it,
It's a year.
yeah, we was together a year
Yeah.
and we had a kid. But when we had the kid, it was a lockdown. So like she was pregnant through the whole lockdown of the Philippines, and a lot happened at that time. You couldn't go out. You had to get cards and passes and stuff like that, and we didn't see each other. But we luckily she was here to have Anton. I was there with her. I take care of her. I take care of Anton. We've been together for 3 years now, and we went through a lot together. But I wouldn't be here without her. I wouldn't be here without my business partner. I lost everything I had. We are lucky,
Still lucky.
but we're blessed
Yeah.
because I can work. I can make money. I can earn, and that's how I take care of my family. And even when I'm not working, I can earn. So then I try to find ways to earn, and I still do that online. I still work from online, and I take care of everything. So if you guys are trying to figure out, you can't just come here with no money. You can't come here and expecting to get work. You have to have some type of skill. And if you do start your own business, start a business that that you don't need employees for, that you don't need people to work for you. And that's why I do a grift, because I don't have employees anymore. We do everything virtually, and everybody's volunteering because we want it to work, and we're a team. And it's better building something that way than coming here, getting property, and you're not. If you have money and you want to start a business, buy some land, build some apartments, and make money like that. Because real estate, you can make money. That's the easiest way to make money here in the Philippines. You own that land. Every month you have rent that's due. You have money coming in every month.
Yeah.
That is that. Like, I learned that from her and from being here. Now, if you want to do a business, make sure it's a business that you can have control over on your own. Which means that if you want to have a barber shop, make sure you're the barber. So you don't need to hire other people, so you can know how to cut hair, so you can do everything that you don't have to pay. Because I didn't do that. I'm not a barber, and I had a barber shop, and I had to depend on all these people, and all these people had to get paid, and I lost a lot of money doing that. I would not suggest doing a canteen or a food business unless you're a chef and you have something that nobody else can do, or you have a food that nobody else can have, because people here eat at restaurants and then the next month that restaurant is empty because everybody's buying food carts and stuff from people. That's not real food. If you want to open up a canteen or a restaurant, make sure that you know how to cook something that people come to and get every day. That's it. Now if you got money, get a 7-Eleven franchise, or get a Jollibee franchise, or get like a big name franchise. That's good also. That's another way to make money you can earn. But just make sure that you have the money for expenditures, for the employees, for the inventory and stuff like that. That's if you have big money. A lot of people that come here don't have big money. A lot of them that come here are on a pension. They retired, they're old. I'm young coming to the Philippines. And I met some other African Americans or even Americans who are young, like me, who came here. They have money, and they came here and did things on their own, and they're living. But 90% of the people that come here from overseas, especially Americans, they're old. They got a pension, they have a 401k, they got Social Security, and they getting a check every month, and they living off of that check, or they retired military, and they got a check coming in, so they're living comfortably because they're making $1,000, maybe $2,000 a month, which is like 100,000 pesos. You can live on that easily in a month. All right, I'm bringing around that 100,000 pesos a month. I don't want to get into exact numbers, but I'm bringing around that a month, and we live very well. Anton has everything he wants. We are renting an apartment. Our apartment is 7,550 pesos a month. We do want to own eventually, but I'm still trying to figure out that aspect of where, the location, and things like that. But we live good, very good. We
Yeah.
have food. We have our family. We have a nice place. We're in a nice subdivision. Everybody knows me. Everybody knows her. Everybody knows my son. My son is a celebrity here in Columbia in this area. Everybody knows Anton. Everybody loves Anton. So if you have a marriage and your son is mixed race, I do sometimes wonder how they're going to treat him in school because he's dark. My son is dark like me. His hair is kinky. It's not straight like her. He's different. So I do wonder sometimes. But for what I've seen, everybody loves Anton. Like he's the baby here. He was born here. Everybody loves him. They say hi to him. Everybody speak to him. They love Anton. Now, I don't know if I'm going to put him in a public school because I heard some things about public schools. And I had experience with an ex who had a child went to public school. Then when she went to private school, she didn't know English and she was behind everybody. So I don't want that for Anton. But Anton's learning English. Anton watched YouTube all day. He watched ABC. He watched numbers. His mom, they teach him everything. He knows songs. He understands English very well. He doesn't speak, but he understands you. And that's because of his mom. So his mom was very smart, and she's teaching him through that, and it's all educational programs. So I tell people, go to YouTube. There's a whole bunch of kids' songs in there, and they can learn. So my son is going to be very smart because he's learning because his mom figured that out, and she's teaching him every day. Everything he watches is something educational. Don't get it twisted. It's a cartoon. Open, shut, open, shut. But they're teaching.
He followed.
But he followed. They're teaching him. He's following, and he's understanding. He's comprehending, and he's learning, and that is what you want. So I have to thank her for that. But at the end of the day, my experience in the Philippines has been up and down, but I never took it negative. Like I never got angry. I just buckled down and did what I had to do. Most of it's been good. The little bad times I had was learning lessons for me to figure out things on my own. And there were lessons like, hey, I had all these businesses, they ain't make money. If her would have met me, I would have met her when I first came here, I wouldn't have went through all that. I wouldn't have had a barbershop.
No, that's part of life. You need to be struggled first before you reach.
Right. So I had to learn how to struggle. And that struggle got me to know who's really my friends and who's not my friends, who's really in my corner. Because when you go from up to down and everybody see that, you know who your friends are. You know who's really in your corner, who has you. So I was on my down when I met her. Now I'm up. People here, they just know me as a guy who works hard, takes care of my family, and they respect me for it because they see that what I went through. Some people knew what I went through. Kuyiromi, he was there. He knew, the whole time. But he always been a friend. My partner CB's been a friend. They helped me. My son's godmother, helps me. If I need, so I do have friends, but I don't depend on them. I have to depend on myself. My family doesn't depend on them. My family depends on me, and I have to be the man to take care of them. So that's what I do. So I just want to say thank you for listening to my story. Hopefully now you get a better perspective of how I got here, what I've done here, how me and her met, what I went through. I went through ups and downs. I had everything, then I lost everything, then I gained everything back. But I did it from the grace of God and His mercy and me humbling myself. I had to humble myself. I had to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you come to America, you're going to come here thinking you're the biggest thing on earth, that everything goes your way, that you got all the money in the world because you're like, oh my God, my money goes so far here because I get 55 pesos for every dollar now and stuff like that. But it's not about that. What makes you come here is that I love being in Philippines. People consider me a black Filipino. I will fight for the Filipino person. I will work with the Filipino person. I love Filipino person. They treat me like
They're friendly.
they're friendly, but they treat me with respect. I get more respect here as a black American than I do in my own country. I don't have to worry about police shooting me. Police like me here. They'll talk to me. They'll talk to me before they talk to a Filipino because I'm a foreigner. Right? They treat me good because I'm a foreigner. And of course, some people look at me like, oh, where you from?
They thought that is African.
Some people do think I'm African because I'm black. So they think I'm African. But then when I speak, wait a minute, you don't have an accent. You talk, where you from? I'm American. Oh, so how you doing? Because I'm American now. If you're American, you just get a lot of love. White Americans, of course, most people know white Americans. They come here. They get all the women. You can have, your plethora of women. You can have your choice of women if you're white American. But
not all, but mostly.
Mostly. But they have it better. People like them better. They respond better. They get favoritism better because you don't see a lot of black Americans here,
No.
And even in Colombia, I've never met another black American. I've met Africans in Colombia. Like I've met a few Africans. And I have an African friend actually. I forget where he lives, but I do have African friends. And we are black, so we treat each other good. Matter of fact, black people here treat each other better than they do in America. Because American Africans, African Americans, some of them they don't like each other. But here we're black. We got no choice. If you don't, you know what I mean. If you don't like me, fuck you. You know what I'm saying. But you're black, so you're black. But once people realize I'm American, then it's a whole nother door opened up for me.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of love and a lot of respect for that. I have a beautiful wife. I have a beautiful family. I want to give a shout out to my Papa Lo, to
You cannot watch it. They don't have.
that's all right. They can still know. Sister Nene's husband. What's his? Warren. Hi Warren. Hi Bam Bam. Hi Ezekiel. Hi Sister Tesse. Her family. She got like 100 kids. I don't know them, so I just say hi to everybody. Sister Mary Lou. Hello. Tan. Hello. That's pretty much her side of the family that I know. She has brothers that I talked to maybe a couple of times, but I haven't met. I haven't been there yet, so I'm gonna go there. Hopefully, God willing, we can go there to my son's second birthday, and we can meet her family. Even if it's not his birthday, we're going as soon as we got the money. But we try to plan to go on his birthday. Even if it's not his birthday, we may just celebrate his birthday there anyway, even if it's late, because my son has never been there. I never been there. The family loves Anton. They love Anton. Like, they love him.
Anton unique on the family.
Anton is unique in the family, but not only that, they just love Anton.
Yeah,
They love Anton. So he needs to meet his family. So I'm looking forward to that. So it's almost 30 minutes. So I want to give a shout out to all my family Kabakalan. I want to give a shout out to everybody. Yes, my family overseas, but also my family at Griff, all of my team, everybody at LSMF, my family there in the gaming and GTA 5. Anybody that knows me, I love you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being there. And I want to give a shout out to Papa Lo again, because Papa Lo loves me. He loves me. He has opened and accepted me. Her family has accepted me for me, and they care for me very much. And I also want to give a shout out to my business partner and his family. What's up, Carlo? What's up, Mike? Just had a baby. What's up? Those guys, nothing but love also. And anybody, man, that knows me, nothing but love. Thank you so much. Hopefully you'll follow us. Please subscribe to our channel. Please like, share, comment, because it's not really for me, it's for her.
Click the bell button.
Click the bell button. Click the notification button. And please support me and support her, because this is her idea. This is for her. She wants to be a blogger. and I'm doing this because I want her channel to be better. And what else to do it than to do it on live? Thank you so much. You guys have a blessed day and take care.